Hello everyone and welcome back to the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. In this video we're going to show you a number of clips which shows, highlights and clearly demonstrates the coercion, the collusion and the corruption by An Garda Síochána. We've covered all these issues in separate videos, and we want to put this collage together to show you what it is exactly the Irish authorities and these people, what they actually undertook to frame our son Aaron. So I'm just going to introduce each of the clips very briefly. We'll have a look at the clip, and also, like for the first clip here with Matt Flaherty, we'll put up the link to the full video, and then in the description below you'll find a link to each of the 7 videos for what we are going to cover. So the first video we're going to look at here is Agent Matt Katske, how he offered inducements to a drug dealer, an American man called Matt Flaherty, whom Aaron worked with when he went to America initially. And the video clip is self-explanatory, but let's have a little look at it, and then we'll move on then to the next video. So here's the first video. Matt Flaherty being bribed and put under severe pressure to tell lies against Aaron and the Flynns. To see the text and absorb some of what he's saying, and we'll have a quick look at that as soon as we have a look at the video. We'll just have a quick look at it now. There we go.
What's happening?
They forced me into shit. Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
I got you.
Come here. Sit down.
I got arrested on serious charges, and they forced me into this, but they don't have any of my information now, so I'm not testifying against you guys or anything.
No, look, I want to know what they're saying.
They're
My
saying,
girlfriend got deported and put in jail for 4
listen,
years.
they told me that
4 months.
when I had Aaron at my house, they knew all about everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
About what?
oh, murder in the car.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother? Huh?
What?
This is what they're saying. That Aaron,
you.
oh no, they're saying to me that I was harboring a murderer, a hot murderer.
But they forced you into this.
They forced me, yes, because I was going to court. I got busted for drugs and
So the DEA in America.
Oh, not just them. I had Homeland Security show up me at my house. The district attorney, state police, the FBI, and the 2 Irish cops.
2 Irish cops.
Yes.
And they were forcing you to say stuff
They
about
forced me to say anything. Dude, they're harboring. They said, because something with the IRA. For known association with the IRA, I'm looking at 25 years in prison.
They just bullshit with you.
Well, no, that's true.
Who's
The
that
FBI actually told. I don't know. That's what they say. But don't worry. But don't worry about nothing. I'm not going. I would never go near nothing. They don't have none of my information. I haven't heard nothing from. They don't even have my new phone number. New phone number, new fucking address. My lawyer fucking doesn't.
Let me explain to you. They force people to give statements about that kid, right?
But Aaron.
They force another fella to give a statement
Did
about
they?
him as well.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
He's just sitting in jail right now because of these statements.
Wow.
Because of. Well, look, I don't care, dude. You have to do what you got to do.
No, I'm not. Listen,
you know what I mean?
I'm not a fucking rat like that either. But
look, dude.
I got kids, and
I
didn't know nothing anyway.
Yeah. No.
Because they pretty much read everything to me, and then I had to say, and I just signed it.
No, because what I'm not going to do. Well, what did they do? Write out what they wanted you to say?
No, they didn't. No, have me write out. They would put the tape before they put the tape on. They would tell me everything that was going on, and that actually had me going to read an article in the newspaper that was back in your place in Ireland. Yes.
Yeah. There we go, folks. I think that's quite self-explanatory. You had American agents. The agent we believe is Matt Katske, and Irish Garda putting pressure on this man, telling him he was going to go to jail for 25 years for harbouring a known IRA terrorist. And very important to note here how Matt Flaherty tells us that he was showing newspapers. And we have highlighted this, how the Irish mainstream media were used as a tool to promote this false narrative and generate this media story against Aaron. So we're going to continue now with the next clip. Involves Matt Katske again, Agent Matt Katske again. And when we released this tape, it should have caused a furore all over the island of Ireland, both north and south of the border, indeed in London, and obviously in America, where we have an American agent approaching a then suspect. He approached James Flynn in Belfast Airport and was offering inducements and offering assistance with an ongoing court case in America. So we'll have a listen to Matt Katske approaching a then suspect. James Flynn has been acquitted of the murder robbery on the 25th of January 2013. But at this time, when Katske was approaching James Flynn in Belfast Airport, James was still a suspect at that time. So let's have a listen to that now.
I do have a lot of authority to help out when it comes to citizenship in the United States. Hello, is Aaron Brady. I want to be clear on that. I do think that maybe one of the easiest ways to help and start this is finding other people. Well, if you know people, maybe in the border region, whatever, that know Aaron, and Aaron has spoken about this, they want to come to the United States and have a way, but they're willing to testify. I'm here to talk about that. I want to know people that know Aaron Brady isn't really doing it, and then I can look for things once I have it. Until I have that, I can't offer anything. I'd like to speak to you next week if possible.
Well, you know how long I'm here for. I'm here for 10 days.
But you guys don't give me a reason to come forward and stand up for your team. I think you understand the offer. Yeah. This opportunity's here right now. And I'm telling you, call Eugene and give him this offer. Yeah, like, have him call me. Have him call me. I do have a lot of authority to help out. When it comes to citizenship in the United States, when it comes to status, legal status in the United States, when it comes to being deported from the United States, I have a lot of authority to help out. Hello, is Aaron Brady. I want to be clear on that. Aaron Brady goes away. You've probably never seen me. Hello, is Aaron Brady. I want to be clear on that.
There we go. And again, the full video where we've analysed this interaction in Belfast Airport by the American agent is there's the link to it, and it will be in the description below along with the others. Again, it's important to note here, the Judge Michael White did not allow that evidence to go forward before the jury. So again, the Irish judicial system, total failure, total collapse, and shows the height and the depth of the corruption of the Irish judicial system. So we've seen collusion and corruption against Matt Flaherty, the drug dealer from Boston. We've just seen Matt Katske offer inducements to Jimmy Flynn and his brother Eugene Flynn. And now we're going to watch a clip that was released online. Now, the Gardaí released this clip. We do know that the Gardaí released this clip to cause a furore during the course of Aaron's trial. It's clips of Ronan Flynn giving a witness statement against Aaron. Now, Ronan Flynn did live with Aaron shared a flat in New York. And Ronan had an extradition warrant live for a serious assault in a pub in the Cooley Peninsula. He also had drug charges in Dundalk and in Carlingford. He also had drug charges and had drugs issues in New York. He was an illegal immigrant, and yet he was allowed to stay in America. So in this little clip, we're just going to show how Mark Phillips, Senior Investigating Officer, is putting words into Flynn's mouth when Ronan Flynn gets his lines wrong with the lies. And then we're just going to roll into a situation where there was intimidation, where members of An Garda Síochána were intimidating Ronan Flynn on the streets of New York. So please, the most important thing to watch here is Mark Phillips getting upset when Ronan gets the cars wrong and he's getting his lines wrong. And Mark Phillips illegally and totally reprehensibly makes Ronan, or tries, Ronan still can't get it right. But let's have a look and you'll see what's happening here. Took place in New York. So let's have a listen to clip number 2 when the witness gets his lines wrong and Mr. Phillips is not happy.
My cousin were with him. Yeah, the car. He said it was BMW, you know. The car was BMW. Well, just cast your mind back to try and recall what he said in relation to the car. I said, what was it? And he said it was. I said, what sort of car was it? And he said it was like I don't know. Well, I think he said BMW.
So there we have the witness telling Phillips, Gill and Riley in the background there. He was there for carry the coffee. The witness is saying the car that was stolen they're talking about was a BMW. Phillips says, well, stop, think. Cast your mind back to what he said in relation to the car. And the witness keeps continuing, yeah, he said it was a BMW. The vehicle stolen in Clowerhead was a blue Passat.
I hope they ain't shame at all.
What are you guys talking about?
Okay, what are you guys talking about? Why are you guys following me? Why are you guys following me?
Good looking fella rolling.
Okay. The cops want to follow me in New York. The cops want to follow me in New York. Okay. Hold on. The cops want to follow me in New York.
You want a pint?
The cops want to follow me in New York.
I'll buy you a drink.
The cops want to follow me in New York. Okay.
I'll buy you a drink.
You guys want to follow me in New York? I'm over here. It's a different country. You know that, right? Okay, what are you guys talking about? Why are you guys following me? Why are you guys following me?
Good looking fella rolling.
Okay.
Again, it's very blatant coercion, corruption and intimidation by members of An Garda Síochána It's as simple as that. And again, just to remind you, we do have the link that's there, and that link will be for the full video in relation to Roland Flynn and Mark Phillips will be in the description below. And please take the time to look at the full videos related to each of these clips. So we've just seen Mark Phillips put words into a witness's mouth, an illegal immigrant, a drug dealer from the Cooley Peninsula, a man that should have been deported. We move now to another man who should have been deported, and this man we do believe was central in recruiting people to tell lies against Aaron in order to get green cards and or a share of the $100,000 reward for information leading to a conviction of Aaron. And this time it's Christopher Morton. We have released a video in relation to Mr. Morton's interview, and there'll be more to come on that. But again, because we've watched Mark Phillips in the previous clip, please, it is highlighted here, watch Pat Marry when again the criminal, thief, drug dealer and illegal immigrant goes off script. And then I'll just highlight it before we go into it. Garda Bobby Ogle is taking the state and he's doing the writing. And Christopher Morton is offering more information. He knows of other criminality that Aaron Brady was at. And as a detective, his ears should have pricked up and he should be, oh, well, what else did you hear? What else do you know about Aaron Brady? But that wasn't the narrative that they had agreed on. Morton was getting too cocky and his brain was getting a wee bit ahead of itself, or his mouth was getting ahead of his brain. Watch Pat Marry in this clip.
I asked him who he was, and he just said Brady. I said, my name's Chris.
You gave the name Brady. Did he give a Christian name?
No, not at the time.
He said you were Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd heard about the stories of who was accused of shooting the guard.
Who was accused? Or
yeah, that Aaron Brady had been accused.
Aaron Brady was the name you mentioned, was it?
He hadn't mentioned me. He told
no,
me.
But from the stories,
yes.
Aaron Brady was the name.
mentioned.
Just at this point, can I ask you, did you ever hear of that name before, or did you know that name? Or?
I only heard about it in conjunction with what had happened.
Prior to this, yeah.
For odd stuff, yeah. Like I didn't know him personally.
You didn't know
some
yet.
Stuff about him, like criminality.
You had heard that name mentioned before
in different circles.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who he was personally.
What was the conversations about when you were
So I asked him who he was. He said Brady. I said Chris. And then I was a little tipsy, so I just asked him straight out, "Are you the lad that's on the run for shooting the guard?" And he said, "Yeah, I shot him." And then he very quickly changed the subject. I guess he recoiled. He was trying to take it back. But he said very nonchalantly.
You had it on the run for shooting the guard, and he said,
"Yeah, that's me. I'm the one that shot him." He said, "Yeah, that's me. I'm the one that shot him."
now you've watched the full 6-minute segment and viewed the sheer absurdity of Morton's testimony and story and narrative he was peddling. Watching this interview actually made my blood boil and made me feel physically sick. The fact that this man's lies defy basic logic and human behaviour. Here's the kicker. Christopher Morton never had that interaction with Aaron Brady because Aaron Brady was not in the tombstone that night. I know this for a fact, and Christopher Morton may still not know, but for that weekend I was in New York visiting Aaron. Me and Aaron were both invited to the day 2 of the wedding. I accepted and attended. Aaron declined and stayed at home with his housemate. So Christopher, you did not meet Aaron that night. You did not have any interaction with Aaron that night because he was not in the tombstone. I was in the tombstone. So you are, again, I will highlight, a liar. How another human being could create such a story and a narrative of evil lies to do what you done to my brother is absolutely beyond sickening.
So there we have it. You've seen Mary again reacting when Morton goes off script, and we see the absolutely disgusting behaviour by Detective Bobby Ogle. And then we ran into the clip with Lorraine explaining to you, the Irish public, and that Christopher Morton is a liar because Lorraine was in the pub that night that Morton allegedly had this miraculous conversation with a man at a bar at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. And from day one, we have said, Christopher Morton, you are a liar, and nobody has come forward to back Morton up, whether it be his Sinn Féin friend, Anton Waters, Councillor Anton Waters in the Cooley Peninsula, whether it be Pat Murray, Bobby Ogle, Brendan Grehan, Senior Prosecution Counsel, Lord of these people as good, decent, honest people coming forward to do their duty and their public duty to defend Detective Guard Adrian Donahue's life and death. Nothing could be further from the truth. They're making a mockery of Adrian Donahue. A complete mockery of the man's memory. And Morton is at the top of the list. I will say once again, we do believe he was instrumental in recruiting people to get a lump of the reward money and get a green card. So I mentioned there with Brendan Grehan, Lord of these people, and we have to look at these people continuously as we do our work in Aaron's campaign, and then we have to listen to the mainstream media and Brendan Grehan and all these people telling us that Daniel Cahill was the star witness against Aaron. Now, Daniel Cahill and Christopher Morton were friends, and we know this because Christopher Morton, the coward that he is, sent a text to Inspector Phillips and told him because his friend Dan was so severely cross-examined in court, he didn't think he could do it because he knew he was going to be found out for the liar that he is. But we've created an immense amount of videos and content on Daniel Cahill. But to give you some idea of the character and the type of people that the DPP, Mark Phillips and Pat Murray were prepared to use, please look at this video clip here. Statements against Aaron. So first of all, we're just going to quickly look at a clip of a podcast that was released by Daniel Cahill and his business partner, Jamie Brennan. So we have a quick look at it now.
Powerful people in DC, this pizza shop owner. James Alefantis, yes, one of the most powerful people in DC, who owns a pizzeria. Imagine if I was the most powerful people in White Plains. I'd own a pizzeria. If you were the most powerful person in White Plains? Yeah. You'd own a pizzeria? Yeah. I wouldn't know. I would own coffee shop. No, I'd own all the car parks or something. All the parking lots. Yeah. Something mad if you're not parking on this thing until I say so. No, man, you want to own a pizzeria. That way you can put kids in the basement and sell them. Because here's the thing about kids, right? Like, you can only sell a bag of cocaine one time. Right? No. Yeah. I've seen it go multiple times. Yeah, if you sell like a bag of weed, that's the bag of weed gone. But if you sell the kid, you still got the kid afterwards. You can keep selling it. You can keep selling it? Yeah, you can just keep selling that kid. So that's...
Those of you who haven't seen that man and speak publicly in favour of him, more than welcome to do so. And you can see here, this is Patrick O'Connell's article from a few weeks ago, another podcast Cahill done, where he told us where he was stabbed numerous times before he left Dublin. And I've said before, and our campaign has said before, O'Connell is trying to sanitise Cahill here, because Cahill made a serious error of judgment in telling the world that he was stabbed and involved in gangs and a situation that was in Dublin at that time, before he had no other option other than to leave Dublin. And so what we're going to do now is, on foot of this video, we're going to move forward and show that Daniel Cahill had a close association with Anthony Maguire and with Christopher Morton. Now, as with watching Christopher Morton and Ronan Flynn, Anthony Maguire, to watch Daniel Cahill in these clips is absolutely disgusting, and it turns our stomach. But we have to bring this information to you, the public. Would anyone like that man to be a star witness against him? A man lauded as a pillar of society. He called himself a pillar of society. He wants to sell children, because when he sells his cocaine and his marijuana, the drugs are gone. But with a child, he can sell the child again. I don't care what podcast you're doing. If you had a few drinks, you're out with your mates, and men, obviously, very often, possibly cross the line. I would say there is nobody, no decent person, half decent person, has ever been in the company of a conversation like that. And then we rolled into the scenario where Patrick O'Connell, the journalist from the Sunday World, tried to sanitise another podcast created by Daniel Cahill, when he told us he was stabbed 7 or 8 times and had to leave Dublin. He was involved with some heavy-duty criminals. Although I was not involved in criminality myself. Bullshit, you're a liar, Daniel Cahill. And we know you're a liar. And again, very important to highlight here, we were not made aware of Daniel Cahill's attack. That was all hidden. His Garda records were tampered with, we now know, and we're possibly getting slightly closer to solving that issue. His pulse records did show a number of stop and searches on the street, but we'll hopefully, when the time is right, we can bring that to you, the Irish public. So that's the calibre of the people we had to deal with. And it shows quite clearly there that they were being coerced and put under pressure. Now, let there be any doubt that this was going on. Let's now have a look at another man from Boston. And I've spoken to this man himself, was very close to doing something similar to what Christopher Morton done. But this is a decent man. This is a proper man. This is an Irish man. This is a man with morals. And listen to Thomas O'Callaghan's story here.
1 to 7 in the morning, going to work. Between 13 to 15 armed men arrested me. And I just couldn't believe why. I was illegal. I was there almost 17 years. Took me down to a building in the city, an FBI building, I believe. And then this is when the Katske guy came. He was Homeland Security. And he kept saying, I know all about you. I know where you're from. I know who your mates are, all this. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what are you trying to imply here? I says, I don't understand. Right, he says, would you be interested in talking to 2 guys who came a long way to speak to you?
The name of the Garda who was involved in your arrest is?
Mark Phillips. I was asked to say this about the 2 Flynn brothers, Eugene and Jimmy. These guys had absolutely nothing to do with this. Like, it's just a complete stitch up. Just trying to put words in my mouth. The whole story is that Phillips made me say is what convicted Aaron Brady. I've never even met Aaron Brady. I don't know, don't even know him.
This is the individual who this week and last week was back in court trying to destroy Aaron's chances of a fair appeal.
And he said it then. Here, say it and we'll get you a green card. Just say this and we'll get you a green card. There was no tape recording. There was no video.
So again, a link to all these videos that we've taken the clips from are listed in the description below. Okay, so there we've seen this young man who has received a lot of accolades for his bravery in coming forward. Now, there are other people who are in the same position, who were put under severe pressure to give statements and didn't, and these people were deported. And it's a very, very sad indictment of a country, and these situations are fluctuating and might change. But these people are afraid to go public because they have their own businesses, or they're working in the South, and they're actually living in fear. That is the state we are living in at the moment, run by these criminals, like Mark Phillips. So Thomas, please, it really is, for those of you who have not seen that full version of that video, please click on the link, go and watch Thomas O'Callaghan's interview with Gemma O'Doherty. And it's really eye-opening. Mark Phillips put the green card in front of him. A man, he could have said, and all he had to do was say he was having a few drinks with the Flynn brothers in the GAA club in Boston, and they said something about shooting the guard, and that would have done Mark Phillips. They'd have done the rest. And we've thanked Thomas so much for his bravery, his decency, his moral code, his ethics, and his belief in our campaign. And he knows, he's never met Aaron Brady. He's never met Aaron. So this isn't a personal or a coerced thing or anything of that nature. So we thank Thomas sincerely. Please go and look at the full video. And I suppose the final clip I'm going to show you now is of a young girl. So we've shown you the coercion in behind the scenes during the course of interviews, when police trap and coerce people, put them under pressure, offer inducements, and it's all done away from the glare of the cameras, so to speak. All done subversively, illegally, and underhand. But we were lucky enough that someone released the testimony of Molly Staunton, a young, mentally challenged young girl who gave her testimony against Aaron from her kitchen in New York. So for those of you who are just coming to see this for the first time, a young girl was allowed to give her testimony from her kitchen in New York to the court in Dublin in a capital murder case. So Aaron's rights were totally infringed upon, totally, like Adrian Donohue's memory, totally set aside, didn't matter, showing no respect for Adrian Donohue's memory or for Aaron's human rights, where you are entitled to face your accuser. But this poor girl was coerced into a statement, and again, this is just a short clip of what happened in a courtroom, and we'll just have a little look at it and then we'll finish up then. Thank you. Let's see Molly Staunton's testimony.
And the whole issue about...
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. 1 second. Sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry. Someone has come into my apartment. Can I just ask them to leave, please, while I do this?
Yeah, there's no difficulty with that. Of course, yeah, if you want to say that he shot someone 1,000,000 times. Is that what he said?
I'm not sure.
He didn't make an admission to shooting a policeman or a guard.
No, he did not.
As I say, that is only a brief clip from what happened in the courtroom over the course of 2 days. So very simply, all rules, regulations, all conditions were broken. Like Adrian Donoghue's memory, Graham and Judge Michael White trampled all over any legal authority that could have been present in a courtroom. The girl said quite clearly, more often, that Aaron didn't say he shot a cop. Now, in numerous videos I've covered with Molly Staunton previously, and we have covered videos, covered Molly Staunton in videos for the last 4 years, and not one word about it. Now, once this video has been released, testimony, there is a bit of a furore, but the problem is, if to take us to court for this, we're more than happy to go to court and discuss what we're looking at and discuss our rates to show this. Because this happened in open court. Anyone in the world, any one of the 8 billion people on this planet were entitled to go to court to watch Molly Staunton give evidence against Aaron. So any issue with the illegality of it, we're more than happy to deal with that. And the way she was treated and what Judge Michael White allowed. And when you watch the whole video clips, it's very important to note that this young girl was physically attacked by an unknown man in her kitchen. And the evidence was allowed to stand. Now, Judge Michael White did give a warning to the jury about the evidence, but they had heard it. And it's like ringing the bell. When you hear a bell ringing, you cannot unhear it. And what Michael White done, the case should have been stopped, thrown out, adjourned there and then. The moment it happened, she was attacked. So, what did we have? So we've had Molly Staunton attacked. We've shown you quite clearly through Thomas O'Callaghan's story that there was collusion, coercion going on. It was there for people if they wanted to take it. We've shown you the scumbag that Daniel Cahill is, and we've covered his story on numerous occasions, and we've a lot more to come on Daniel Cahill in the very near future. We've shown you Christopher Morton. We've highlighted Morton this last 4 or 5 years, and now we've been able to bring it to you there and then. You've seen Pat Marry. You've seen his reaction when Morton was talking about other criminality. You've seen Garda Bobby Ogle. Ogle should have... What other criminality? There could have been other crimes that were linked to the crime in Lordship. There could have been other crimes that was linked to crimes that was linked to Lordship. They didn't want to know. They had one narrative agreed with the layer Christopher Morton, and they didn't want to stray off that. And we will be going into much more depth in that in the coming weeks. We've shown you Ronan Flynn being attacked on the street in New York by members of Garda Síochána. We published that, and no one from Garda Síochána has contacted us to see if where the content came from, who this guard was. We know who the guard was. We've seen him down in Wicklow. We've seen Mark Phillips put words in Ronan Flynn's mouth. Totally illegal, and it matches the behaviour of Marry and Ogle. And then we've know of Matt Katske, an American agent, seconded to the American embassy in London, in Belfast Airport, offering inducements to a suspect of a murder, suspect for a murder that was committed in the Republic of Ireland. Totally crazy. And again, just to mention, Pat Marry, who you've seen in the picture with Agent Katske, told lies in court when he said he knew nothing about it. He purged himself. And then at the beginning, we showed you the drug user, drug abuser, and drug dealer, Matt Flaherty, being told if he didn't say something about the Flynns and Aaron Brady, he would be going to 25 years in jail for harbouring a known IRA terrorist. There's it there in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. People must react. We have to ask you a question. Are you happy with what you've seen in those 7 clips? Is that acceptable in any normal society? Is that acceptable for the memory of Adrian Donoghue? Is that acceptable for Adrian Donoghue's children? Because the rest of his family have seen a lot of this going on and must be fully aware of it. So I'm thinking specifically about Adrian Donoghue's children here, to carry on their daddy's memory. That's what is this acceptable? Do you, the Irish public, is what you are just after witnessing? And there are only 7 little clips. I think the 7 together is 16 minutes. Plus I've interjected in between the clips. And we've 500 videos created and nobody has contradicted one word we've said. If an Garda Síochána want to talk to me about any of those clips or any of the information or the content that we've released, no problem. I've said that on numerous occasions. And we are, at this moment in time, would dearly love to be slightly quicker getting Cahill into court in New York, getting Morton into court in New York. But that's ongoing because we are not stopping. And there's much more of this behaviour to come for you, the Irish public, to see. And this isn't, and I know we've said it, and during the course of Aaron's campaign, and I've heard other people saying it, and it's a lot on social media, that the state, our country, is in a bad way. It's not our country. It is a select number of people. And in our case, it's only a handful of people like Pat Marry, Mark Phillips, Brendan Grehan, Judge Michael White, Judge Tony Hunt. Just a small number of people, if they are weeded out. It's not the country. There's a lot of good people in the country, but people like these have us blindfolded with the way they run the country, their corruption, their collusion, and they work hand in glove with the mainstream media, and we've highlighted that very, very clearly. How the mainstream media, how can no mainstream journalists in Ireland contact the Brady campaign and say, Mr. Brady, what about this? What's happened here? None of us have seen anything of this in the newspapers. And they're there in front of you, in the flesh. In the flesh, it's happening. So, again, we're calling people to action. Like, comment, share. Please contact your local politicians or those in authority and just ask them to ask the question. And if you do it once, please continue. You're going to get, no, don't touch that, we're afraid of it. Please, do not be afraid, do not be sheep. Just ask the question. Don't want you banging drums or waving banners. Just ask questions. I'll say again, those clips I've just seen, you have just seen, is that acceptable in our Irish society? It's not acceptable, and we want our son home. And we'll finish again on the caveat. We've shown everyone a picture of the man who shot Adrian Donoghue. He's 6'3". Aaron is 5'7". So that's where we are at the moment. And as we move into 2025, we need you, the Irish public, to do a little bit more. It's as simple as that. Please stand up and be counted by just whispering to someone in authority or just share Aaron's story. Thank you very much. And we will be back with much more of this collusion, corruption, and we'll roll it out there, lay it out bare for it to be seen. Thank you, and we'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.